For success with Google Ads or any other type of marketing campaign, whether it be Meta ads or TikTok, whatever type of ads you want to be doing, your success is going to be severely limited if you don't have a high converting landing page. So many times when I go through and review a Google Ads campaign, because the user is saying that they're just not getting any conversions, we actually find that the issue isn't actually the Google Ads campaigns. Sure, there's some little tweaks that we may need to make. There are some small structural changes, but a good percentage of the time, the issue is actually their landing pages. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the 5 core principles that your landing pages need to have if you're going to be able to get those conversions which your business needs. And the great news is that what I'm about to share with you is user tested data, because the principles that I'm about to share with you is from an extended training session that I ran in my paid community. And this was run by a user testing expert who's done over 10,600 real life user tests to find out this exact answer. What are the core elements that you need to have in your landing pages if you want to see more conversions? So what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to take you through those 5 core principles. And if you stay around to the end of the video, I'm going to also show you how you can access that extended training for free. So firstly, let's get into principle number 1. Number 1, straight away, you need to have an attention grabbing headline. Now, I've been involved in digital marketing and especially Google Ads since 2010. And throughout that time, there's been this ongoing, I won't say argument, but ongoing discussion on the exact amount of time that you have to grab someone's attention when they arrive on your landing page. You know, some people say 1 second, some people say 3 seconds, some go up to 7 seconds. But regardless of what the answer is, one thing we do know for a fact is that once someone clicks on your ad and goes to your landing page, you have a matter of mere seconds in order to grab their attention. So that's why front and center, the first thing that they need to see when they get to your landing page is they need to see an attention grabbing headline. And you also need to take it a little bit further. And the first thing about that is that you need to make sure that there is a very clear connect from the ad through to the landing page headline. And what I mean by that is that the user has clicked on your ad for a reason. And that could be because they're inquiring about a certain service or inquiring about your product. So what you need to make sure with your headline is that your headline needs to be directly aligned to your ad copy so that when the user goes from your ad to your landing page, they get this sense of, I'm in the right place. This is the product or the service that I've been looking for. And if that doesn't match, straight away, you're going to lose the sale. And now to take it a little bit deeper into that headline, it doesn't only need to be aligned around the product or the service, but you need to make it very, very clear that this is about them, as in the user. So the headline is not about you or your business, it's about the user. And it needs to state the benefits of that product or service. So what we're generally talking about here is the headline and also the subheadline is it needs to really clearly paint the picture that 1, the user is in the right place because this is where they can get or buy the product or service that they're looking for. 2, it's about them in that the focus is about them. It's not just saying how good you are or how good your company is. And then also in that subheadline, it needs to really quickly start to articulate the unique selling points and the benefits of your product or service. So that's the first thing that you need to have a successful landing page. You need to have a headline which grabs their attention. And the second thing is that you need to have a very clear call to action. Now, I'm a big believer in having a lot of information on your landing pages, whether that be product information or service information. I don't think you can ever not give the user enough information. But having said that, you don't want the user, if they're especially ready to buy, there needs to be some very, very clear call to actions up at the top of the page so that if they've already made their decision or if they see the headline and they're ready to make a decision right now, that they're just 1 click away from ordering your service or buying your product. So you need to have that very, very clear call to action and ability for them to be able to do what they need to do. Now, the other thing I'd say with the call to action, similar to what we were talking about in the first point about making sure there's a strong connect between the ad copy and the product headline, you also want to have a strong connect with this call to action. And the principle that I'm talking here is that in my ad copy, I like to prime the user for what I want them to do on the landing page in the ad copy. What I mean by that is that if I'm wanting someone to go to my landing page and fill out an inquiry form to get a quote, in the ad copy, I'm saying something like, get a free online quote today, or get a free online quote within 60 seconds. Or if I'm wanting them to buy a product today, we'll be introducing a call to action of buy today and save 10%. And then when they get on the landing page, it's giving them more information about how their first purchase, they can save 10%, or you might have a sale on, whatever the percentage is. But that call to action is giving them a reason to buy today and buy now in this session, rather than delaying the decision for another 2 days or another week. So that's the second thing that you want to be doing, is have that attention grabbing headline and then that very clear call to action of not only is it what you want them to do, whether you want them to fill out a form or to buy your product, you're also letting them know that you're wanting that to happen today. That's where you pull in that big call to action. And that brings us to point number 3. And the third core factor that you need for a high converting landing page is that you want to have a simple design with an easy to read font and some great images. So there's a couple of principles that you want to be going through here. Is that firstly, if you've got a lot of content on your page, and like I said earlier, I don't have any problems with your product or your service pages having a lot of information. I don't believe that you can ever give your clients enough information, but there's nothing worse than jumping onto their landing page and just seeing a big wall of content. So what you want to do is you do want to break it out into easier to read points. And a couple of great ways of doing this is by including bullet points. So you're breaking down larger snippets of information into bullet points. Also by having the read more section. So they might see about 100 or 200 words of content. And then there's a read more button which pops out further or drops down further. Whichever way, it doesn't matter, but it's giving the user that if they want to read more, they can easily access more information about your product or service. So firstly, just making sure that it's visually appealing. The second thing that you want to make sure is that you've got a very clear font. If you've got a dark website, you want to be having a light font, or vice versa. If you've got a light website, you want to be having a dark font. The last thing you want to be doing is having a black website background with a light gray font. It just makes it harder to read. And obviously making sure that you're using suitable font sizes, once again, just so that it's easy to read. And what we're wanting to do here is just remove effort. We don't want to add any extra effort into the user to be able to read your content. And then the last thing on this point is don't use cheesy stock images. Nothing screams cheap and tacky more than a cheesy stock image. I would even go as far as to say that a mediocre but real life image is better than a high quality stock image. Let me give you some examples. Let's just say that you are a trade business, so you might be a handyman service or you might be a lawn mowing service. I've seen time and time again that a photo of your team, and it could just be you, the owner, and a couple of your staff members standing in front of a nicely cut lawn or standing in front of your work truck, that's going to perform so much better than a stock image. And the reason for that is because people can see the fakeness in stock images very, very quickly. And also what I like to see as well is that by using a real image of your actual storefront or of your actual team members, it instantly becomes more personable. And remember, when we're getting a sale, this person is going to be looking to become a client of yours. So it's better off that you start the introduction on your landing page. So for point 3, make sure it's an easy site to navigate with easy to read fonts, and also don't use those cheesy stock images. And that brings us to point number 4, and this is really, really important. So once we've got their attention, they're able to easily read your information. Now it comes down to, we need to be able to give some very clear authority markers, testimonials, and price guarantees. This part is all about removing the risk from the buyer. A famous sales writer, Zig Ziglar, once said that people buy on emotion and then they justify with logic. And what we mean by that is that we want to get them all excited about buying your product, but then we want to give them the reasons to justify why they've bought your product. So let me give you a perfect example. We have another business where we manage villas in Bali, and we're not the cheapest villa resort in the area. In fact, we're a good 20 to 30% above the average price. But the reason for why we're able to charge that higher amount is because of our location, but also because of our higher customer service, especially through our butlers. So what we do within our authority markers is we make it very, very clear. Our TripAdvisor reviews and give some real life reviews in there, and also our other website reviews. So that's then allowing people to justify why they're paying that extra amount. So what you want to be doing there on your landing page is giving some different authority markers, and this could be some individual qualifications that you have that your competitors don't have, also your testimonials and your reviews. And you're giving the user the confidence that they can trust your products or trust your services. And then the last thing that you can also do in this area is you can offer a price guarantee. So you want to have very, very clear either price guarantees or a returns policy. And what we mean by that is that you want to preempt that just in case if anything goes wrong, they can either get a refund or they can return the product once again for a refund. An example of this is that we moved house last year, and as part of that moving house, we needed to get an extra bed. And we went with this company that was offering a 100-day sleep guarantee. And the reason why we went with that company was because rather than going down to the shop and trying 50 different beds, it was just a much easier process. And we knew that if we bought this bed and we didn't like it, we had 100 nights, so 100 sleeps to get used to the bed. And if we didn't like it, we could send it back. And that was one of the catalysts for us finishing that sale and for that business getting the sale, is that they removed the risk so much that it was easy for us to buy. So remember, with your authority markers and your testimonials and your guarantees, it's all about removing that risk so that people feel comfortable to buy. And then finally, the fifth point in order to have a high converting landing page is that you just want to have a very, very simple checkout process or form inquiry process. And this is just really, really simple in that you want to make the checkout process as fast as possible and as streamlined as possible. So the last thing you want to do is that you've made the sale, but then they've got to go through and it's a 5-minute checkout process. You're going to see your conversion rates absolutely plummet. So they're the 5 key factors that you need for a high converting landing page for your campaigns. And as I said, if you wanted to get access to the full training, which also includes some live reviews of different websites, all you need to do is to follow that link in the description below so that you can get that access to my extended teaching on this subject. Once again, thank you for joining me. My name is Aaron Young. I'm from Define Digital Academy, and I'm your 15,000 hour Google Ads Master. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, an important part of the process is to not only have a high converting landing page, but you also want to have high converting ad copy. And if you want to see the core elements that you need for the best performing ad copy in 2024, go through and watch this video right here. Once again, thanks for joining me. See you next time.